there's just a large percentage of Twitch that's going to sort of phase out in the next like 2 or 3 years. And there's nothing that can be done about this. Every once in a while, there's a discussion where some streamer, and this time it was a streamer named Bad Bunny, but it's like she's just the current avatar for this discussion. Okay, it happens. It's gonna be someone else. You know, it'll take like 3 months to cool down, and then it will pop back up. Where somebody basically says something that's to the tune of, "Why are you guys not subscribing to my stream? Like, why aren't you supporting me or whatever?" And then there's gonna be two sides of this equation. So like the first side is like the people that come on and they go on Twitter and they're like, this is mostly a Twitter discussion is how I this is like my entire feed this morning. So I'm like, fuck, okay, I want to talk about this. There's gonna be like the one side of the discussion that's like, yeah, like streamers should get money and be like owed money and like this kind of thing, okay? And then there's the other side of the spectrum that is going to be the like, you are consuming free content and you don't have to pay for it at all. Okay, so I want to weigh in on this. So let's first look at this clip, which is the one that started this.
How did my whole speech about how I need subs to keep the stream going, if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching? There are look at, I have a wall of non-subs. This is fucking actually really heartbreaking because it's like people just really they really don't respect me as a content creator.
Of course they don't. Now I'm going to give you the other side. What we do for you on Twitch is free, 100% free. Don't feel the need to sub. Don't feel the need to tip or cheer. That comes after we've established value for you. When you feel we've earned it and deserved it and never before. Don't ever feel pressured to pay for free entertainment. I feel like invariably whenever there's Twitch drama, Ben's going to pop out with that tweet that you absolutely just have to agree with. The contrast here is amazing because like I feel like in this clip, right, you have an example of the absolute most obnoxious way that this issue can possibly be presented. And then in Ben's tweet, you have like the most political, absolutely like just like popular opinion thing to say. There's no one that would ever reply to this and be like, I don't think that's right. Like, right. No one besides possibly Devin Nash. I don't agree with actually. Okay, so what do I think? So like, I don't actually, the reason, why do I even want to talk about this? Because it seems really obvious, right? It's like, okay, well, like Ben's right and this is not right. I think there's more to it. And what I think is that the market decides. Okay, so that's ultimately my answer to everything. So let's first cover this, right? No one is entitled to buy a product and no one should be forced to buy a product. I'm a strong supporter of incentives to strongly request that people buy products. Some may even say to manipulate people into buying products. I don't think that's a thing. I think the buying decision, as long as it's left in the brain of the individual, is always good. Here's the thing. Bad Bunny or whoever does this, she's not the only person to do this. Again, she's just the current avatar of this topic. She's perfectly able to do this, right? And to demand people get her subs if the market supports this, right? So the real question is, does the market support this? That's the real question. So what do I mean by does the market support it? I mean, is there a crowd of people that will pay for this kind of content and pay to be talked to in this way? Oh, surprise. There isn't. Not really, okay? So there's and then like let's compare this to the guy that made the comment here, and you'll see the difference in mindset here, okay? So what Co-Carnage is setting out to do is he's setting out to try to provide value first, and then he doesn't ask for anything, actually ever, really. He just provides the best kind of content and value that he can, and then he expects those returns to come. It's a very awkward mindset. A lot of people talk about it, but not many people actually do it. Because I think to actually truly do it, you need to come from a place of not really needing the support. This is my personal belief on this subject. So I actually think I'm one of the broadcasters that does this because, well, I really appreciate support and it allows me to do a lot of the new stuff I want to do with the stream, like YouTube or TikTok and Instagram, and I can pay for those things. The truth is that I don't really need the support, right? I can have a job and I can go do other things that will pay for my lifestyle and what I want to do. And for that matter, I've also had a past of selling companies, and I don't live a life where I really have to do anything. I mostly just do things because I'm really passionate about doing them or because I want to do them. And so CodeCarnage is in a similar position, and other streamers that have this value mindset, like Pestily or Dr. Lupo, are in this mindset too. But I brought up Pestily intentionally because Pestily by no means is like, I'm probably a lot wealthier than Pestily, but Pestily has a winner's mindset. He has a truly great mindset, which is that he understands that life will take care of him in some way, and the value that he provides will return to him. So even though he could be making more money than he is, he's willing to give up a percentage of that to charity or to other people. And that's just a whole nother level of mindset compared to even people like me or other people like that. I actually am involved in a bunch of charities. I don't talk about it on Twitch because I don't I don't want to it's just something that my family, taught me to do at a long time ago. I don't think that talking about charities is or like the charities that I support are all the supposed good I do or whatever for virtue signaling or points is worth it. So I don't talk about that kind of stuff. But I do believe in it. And but by no means am I like Pestily level where it's like I'm going to give all my donations to children over a year. It's amazing. Like it's absolutely incredible, right? But instilled in this idea is like this mindset of like CodeCarnage genuinely thinks like if I'm not providing value to my viewers, then I don't deserve anything. And I don't know if that's completely right because, how is that not true, right? Okay, so it is true. But the problem with it is that you have to understand where it's coming from. So CodeCarnage, by every metric, is making millions of dollars a year off of Twitch, right? Bad Bunny is a failing streamer who's becoming increasingly frustrated that her content isn't working. And so actually the biggest indication of a failing stream, and so there's a guy in chat right now that just said, it's easy to have this mindset when you're making as much as you or he does, but she's clearly frustrated that she's not doing better. Unfortunately, she's alienating her potential audience and not venting well. Correct. Yes. So the problem with this stream is actually the followers gained. Okay, so losing a net 235 followers over 30 days is like actually insane. That means that your stream is in serious trouble. And this is a thing called the streamer death spiral that I think a lot of streamers are actually in, and they don't realize it. And I don't like this is like kind of an obvious one because we're just looking at the stats. I don't want to individually pull up stats from other broadcasters, but I could tell you that like a lot of old broadcasters are on the platform. If you pulled up their stats, you would see that they're not gaining and their followers are stagnant. And so what's happening is there's sort of a thing called the streamer death spiral, and here's how it works. So the streamer death spiral is this. Basically, an older streamer is creating content, right? The content used to work at a high level and retain viewers. The Twitch meta keeps moving, and expectations from viewers change or even increase. The old streamer keeps doing their content, losing 20%, 30% average viewership per year. And then this they ignore this for a while and attribute it to various victimizations. So it could be like game category or Twitch girl streamers or whatever you want. You know, they'll insert their thing here, and then eventually the numbers will get so low that they realize they can't actually continue unless something changes. And then this is the beginning of the negativity spiral. So what happens is a big part of being a broadcaster is your on-set mindset, or having what I would like to call a useful attitude. Having a useful attitude means that you think about things in terms of the way that like Co Carnage does, where it's like if Co Carnage has a bad day, he doesn't blame Twitch or like booby streamers or game category or whatever. He blames his content, right? He says something I didn't click with people the same way. And that's a really different mindset. What happens when you start to lose a lot of viewers, and telling you from the standpoint of like, I was this person. Like I was in the streamer death spiral. What happened was I came back from CLG. I started doing the same thing that I did before that worked really well, which was like I was playing video games. And then it was not working. People weren't watching the stream. My followers weren't going up. And I started to get negative. My negativity field further decreased because no one wants to be around like a negative broadcaster that's talking about how their viewers suck or like their viewers are low, or especially like this is like the highest level of it, right? This is like full blown death spiral, which is just like, you know, why won't you guys support? It's literally lashing out at the viewers because you're so caught up in this like in your story, right? That it's like you've literally victimized everything you can. Like the rest of the website, other chatters, other streamers, that you literally are now victimizing your viewers as if it's their fault. The few people that decide to be on your stream, right, when you're live, besides any other people, where you could be on any other stream on Twitch, decide to be on your channel, like, right? And that's supporting you at a very high level because they could support you. They could not, like supporting you means that they're a viewer in your channel. And in her case, right, a single viewer accounts on average for about 0.5% of her stream, which is not insignificant. That's a big deal. So a single viewer accounting for 0.5% of your market, that means that viewer is very valuable, regardless of whether they sub or donate or whatever, right? The fact that they're just there and that they want to be there, that's huge. And if you are a streamer that like is used to broadcasting to like 5,000, 6,000 people or 2,000 people, and now you're declining to like 1,500 and you're getting angry, it's because of the human tendency that like once you've received something good, your expectations rise, right? And you start to expect that reward should come all the time. And I showed this on Friday. There's a very easy a way to show this. So, like, we could see in, like, 2 seconds how humans think this way by going back to our ancestors here. So, basically, there's cucumbers and grapes. Grapes are good. Cucumbers don't taste as good. So, you're supposed to take the rock, and then you get a piece of food. So, he gets a cucumber.
And that's what she does.
Gives the rock.
And she gets a grape.
Gets a grape. This guy's like, wait, what?
She gives a rock to us now. Gets, again, cucumber.
Gives the rock, wants to verify it.
And she gets cucumber again.
Right? How quickly our expectations can change of something, right? And the other thing that's not exemplified in this experiment is if this person, if this monkey is used to getting grapes and then gets traded the cucumbers, right? They get mad too. So we set our expectations to certain levels instantaneously based not only on comparisons to other people, but also on our current state of assets. So the problem is that like, and this is something that the Buddhists talk about a lot, and I don't talk about Buddhism that often. A few people that are long-term subscribers will know that I'm a very devout Buddhist. I don't talk about it that often. But there's a concept in Buddhism about desire, and this is, I think, very relevant, which is that like that there is essentially no end to desire, right? That everyone thinks that they're going to get to a point where they have arrived. They've like done something and that's gonna be enough. But it's never enough because your expectations, your desire just goes and sets to meet to your expectations. So like this unhappiness is coming from like a past of like greater success that isn't happening, and you start to like externalize that and victimize everything but yourself. And this becomes a downward spiral because that negativity then fuels further failure, right? So the problem here is the market gets to decide who succeeds and who doesn't. And the real answer here, going back to like my personal story of this, right, was, okay, so like let's go back to my story. Now that we kind of understand this, I think the psychology around this. So I'm streaming video games. I'm in a negativity spiral. It's obviously not going well. But luckily, I think because I didn't take streaming personally, I was able to step back from it. And then I said, okay, what's happening here? And I was able to say, what's happening is my content just isn't good enough to keep up with what's going on. And so I literally totally changed my content overnight. And what happened was I went from streaming 8 hours a day playing video games to streaming 3 hours a day, except by every metric and by every single definable way, I was way more successful. And the reason why that happened was because I started to think about what the market wants. And I can't express to you how difficult this is. Because if you are a person who is used to doing content a certain way, there are so many streamers on this platform that are personal friends of mine that have been broadcasting for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, like 8 years, right? And they're doing the same thing, and they're not understanding why they're not getting these results. And it's like, it's really, really hard because I sit them down and I have this conversation, and it's like, I don't know how to move them from like, you know, maybe like a simple, it's like, fuck, man, here's how it feels. It feels like you're talking to like I'll tell a story about this, okay? So one time on stream, I was talking about automation. And I was talking about how the trucking industry is going to get overhauled in the next 10 years and that automation of trucking is going to happen. And a lot of people that drive trucks are probably going to lose their jobs, right? And I got actually messaged by a 65-year-old trucker. And I couldn't believe there was a 65-year-old trucker watching my stream. It was like unbelievable. But I got messaged by a 65-year-old trucker who was super mad, right? And like DM'd me and was like, this is bullshit. Like, you don't know anything about the industry and stuff like that. And like, basically my standpoint was like really simple, right? Like you look at automated cars, we know that we can automate trucks on highways already, right? So like today we can automate trucks on most major US highways. The only problem that we have with automating cars right now is in like cities and like situations where you're dealing with a large amount of pedestrians and weather and other situations like that. But the technology is getting better. Yeah, we as in humanity, obviously not we as in, like, I'm working on it. So if you look at someone like Lex Friedman, right, like was a really good authority on this, does like a lot of content on this. The automation problem with trucking will be something that gets solved in you know, I don't know how long it will be. It'll probably require some degree of automation to do, but like eventually we'll need to solve. We'll solve this problem. So the idea here is that like a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and not just in that. So like we can just say automation is coming, okay? And with it, a lot of jobs are leaving the ecosystem. I think that having a discussion with streamers about death spiraling is a lot like having a discussion with one of those people, where it's like I couldn't move that 65-year-old person on anything. I couldn't get them to realize that this was going to happen. And I think to some extent, there's just a large percentage of Twitch that's going to sort of phase out in the next like 2 or 3 years. And there's nothing that can be done about this. And this is the same thing that happened in YouTube, right? Like how many people remember a lot of the first time YouTubers that were big, like when YouTube came around, and like the first like 4 or 5 years of YouTube, these are like big personalities and had millions of subscribers, and they don't make videos anymore. They're not relevant anymore. But at the same time, there's some that did. And when I think about stuff like this, I just think like this clip to me, it exemplifies a person that has that's not uncommon, right? Because I think there's a lot of streamers that want to say this, and maybe streamers that are like a lot bigger than this, and they don't say it as outright because they're not as obnoxious, but you can tell they're thinking it. You've totally victimized every single aspect of your brand. It's like every time that this happens, when somebody comes to me and goes, I can't stream on this, and you'd be surprised. Like the emails I get, you guys would be like, I wish I could like dox people and just show the emails I get. Maybe I will one day, like 2 or 3 year old emails. I'll do like a segment where I read the emails and I don't read the people. It would blow your guys' mind. Like how many people that I get as a result of, I did this video called The Truth About Women on Twitch, and it's a pretty popular video. And like case in point, the TLDR of the video is just, hey, women have it tougher on Twitch than you think. And actually, like, it's really, really tough to be a girl on Twitch. And like, here's why, and here's some stats that support it. The number of people that email me saying like, I can't become a creator on this platform because these fucking booby streamers are taking all the viewers is unbelievable. It would actually surprise you like crazy how many people unironically actually think this. They won't start a stream because they think that Amaranth ASMR is taking their viewers. And it's like, no, they're not memeing. See this guy in chat, like he thinks so. I get 3 paragraph, 6 paragraph, 2-page emails about this. It's like, and these are like college students. These aren't just like people that, you know, came out of the ground. Like it's some of you might even know these. Yeah, Zajima's saying like, so you might know these people at IRL for sure. Yeah. Tides of Time says the reason why the majority of MOBA players are shit, majority of people blame their faults on not themselves. Yeah, so it turns out this is the reason why the majority of people are just shit. Not even in MOBAs and not even on Twitch and just in general, just in life, right? I was watching a streamer last night that I mod for, and I kind of like hang out in their channel a lot. And he's a Magic the Gathering streamer. Actually, I have to say who it is. I don't think he cares. His name is Deathsea. And super cool guy. And like a streamer comes, or this guy comes in and says, I hate sealed because there's so much RNG. And like, I never can do well in sealed because there's so much RNG and like it's just weighted against you and it blows, right? And Deathsea just answered, the problem isn't sealed, the problem is that you suck. And this guy got butt detonated, right? But that's 100% the case, right? Like basically Deathsea's answer to the problem was, if you haven't played 100% optimally, and in your best view, have you made all the decisions that you can make to optimize your performance, basically, right? Well, then you can't say like that it was RNG or whatever that held you down, because you could have been better. And that's 100% true here, right? It's like, has you know, this streamer done everything in their power to make their content the best it possibly can be? If they haven't, they can't bitch about the market. That's what we get to. So this guy, Lots Games in chat, said, do you think that Bad Bunny should have looked into other revenues such as ads, sponsor streams, etc., if the issue is that she's not having enough money instead of attacking her viewers? What I wanted to illustrate first was why she's attacking her viewers. It's because it's the final rung of victimization, because you have nowhere else to go. You're literally backed into a corner, right? So because you don't want to, introspection is extremely painful, and most people don't want to do it. They don't want to go back and be like, shit, my content sucks, right? I would look at these numbers and I'd be like, if I looked at my followers gained, and it was, so here's you want to know the untold story of this, right? If I had changed my content and tried this for about 6 months, and what happened to me didn't happen, I probably would have quit streaming. I probably would have. Like, I probably would have said, all right, like, I don't think this is the market for me. I need to play to my strengths. Now, it just so happened that I succeeded, or I guess I'm succeeding for now, right? So that this is very good. And then over the course of the last month, like, there's 1,000 new people net, and 5,230 people that have joined my stream, which is great for an 8-year-old broadcaster, right? Person that started streaming in 2012. Super good. And then also, like, I have other metrics that I can follow, right? Like my YouTube gained 10,000 subscribers in the same amount of time. So the first answer for someone like Bad Bunny is to look at the medium, right? Is Twitch the best place for me to be doing this content? Could I be doing YouTube? Could I be doing TikTok? Is there another place that I could be doing stuff? And then, is my content actually worth watching? That's a really big question, right? And I ask myself that question honestly every day. Like I really do. I ask myself that question every day. And then after that, yes, you can focus on building actual businesses to avoid